Hi, I'm Geoff Ebert, Senior Solicitor and founder of Your Online Property Settlement. Today's the third in our series of discussions regarding reaching a sensible property settlement and how to document it. So today we're going to talk about the 4 steps involved in actually working out what is a fair property settlement between parties. The courts have identified essentially a 4-step process which people can work through without a court to try and work out a fair settlement. So the first and important thing is, well, what are the assets? And what are their values? That's very critical to working out how to divide up your assets. So is there so much in cash? Is there equity in a house? Are there motor vehicles? Is there superannuation? So drawing up a table of working out all of the assets and liabilities and what the net value is very important. The second phase to try and work out a sensible property settlement is to work out, well, how did those assets come about? And should there be a weighting for one party or the other based on contributions, for example? So in a short relationship, if one party has the bulk of the assets, then they may receive more than 50% back in the event of a separation. So you have to take that into account. The third and important issue is, of course, the issue of future needs. Now, what does that mean? Future needs talks about, in a practical sense, how the parties can survive following the separation and how the court should take that into account. For example, is there a significant difference in earning capacity between the two parties? Does one or other of the parties have the significant ongoing care of children of the relationship? Does one party have an intellectual disability or a disability that could impact their ability to work, or that they may have some special needs? So working out the issue of future needs can also cause an adjustment between the parties or a weighting one way or the other. The last step in working out a property settlement is in relation to, is ultimately what you've agreed in the eyes of the court. They use the words just and equitable. Now, the best word I can use is fair. So is it fair that at the end of the day, that party A receives 60% of the assets and party B might only receive 40% based on the issue of contributions at the beginning of the relationship or future needs? That's the thing that needs to be weighed up and worked out between the parties before an agreement is documented by consent orders or a binding financial agreement. So how much does a property settlement cost? Well, if you can reach an agreement early, the first cost is, of course, if you do a consent order, then you've got to pay $180 to lodge that with the court. You've got legal fees if you incur them, and at Your Online Legal we've designed a suite of different costs depending on the level of assistance that you need, including a mediation service, which will hopefully get you moving forward without the need or expense of potentially a court process. That's a litigation process which is very, very expensive to most mum and dad people. So let's try to avoid that and ultimately sort out your property settlement taking into account the above steps. So I look forward to explaining those final details to you in the 4th and final of our series next week, and we'll catch up with you shortly.